Recording. Yay! Okay, starting again, welcome to the Creative Economy meeting. So we do keep things casual here, but we do record it and the chat will be archived. So that way, if you did miss or you want to keep some of the opportunities that were shared, you'll be able to go back and get those. We pretty much put them up online within 24 hours. Any logos on the image, they're not an endorsement of any kind. These logos represent the organizations that support our operations, and we thank them for supporting our work, very much so. As I mentioned, this Zoom is archived in chat. So I kind of went over this, and subtitles and captions are enabled. So if that is what you need, there should be a button there that you can do that. Let me see here. There we go. Okay, acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge that we gather on the ancestral territory of the Nisenan people, the Southern Maidu, Valley and Plains Miwok, and the Patwin-Winton peoples, and the people of the Wilton Rancheria, Sacramento's only federal recognized tribe. We honor them, and may we remain in service to revitalize their culture, land stewardship, and wisdom, ensuring that their legacy endures. We recognize that the significant disparities that persist in economic opportunity and environmental well-being within our region and beyond. It is the diverse voices within our community that bring forth creative ideas and solutions. So we push hard to ensure that these voices have a seat at the table and that we collectively and collaboratively find the resources to bring the visions to life, building a future that is kind, creative, and sustainable for all. Our agenda today. So yeah, I'm going to be blabbering on about quite a few things. And then we've got Julie Baker from California for the Arts. She's going to talk about a couple of bills that are happening right now and advocacy and the Arts and Culture Summit. Donald's going to be talking about a couple of art in public places opportunities that are coming up. Melissa's going to be talking about upcoming grants for individual artists. Jason's going to be talking about the Arts Commission and some updates. And then we're going to brainstorm on a K Street project proposal. This is totally brainstorming. Yeah, really, really early, but we want to work with everybody on some ideas. All right, a little bit about the Atrium. If you don't know, we're located in Old Sacramento. We're a creative innovation center for sustainability. What that means is that we are the intersection of an environmental organization, an economic development organization, and an arts organization. And where those three overlap, that's where we exist. So anytime you bring us on to do a project, all three of those are coming with us, and we do all three. We do have a circular economy marketplace, and that is online and both in store, where we help build the circular economy and build micro manufacturing here in Sacramento and the creative sector all around circular economy. What is circular economy? It's literally designing out waste. Up until now, we've designed things stupid just to kind of use for 5 minutes and throw away. We believe creatives are the future, our problem solvers. So we need to design out the waste and keep the economy going. That's kind of circular economy in a nutshell. So we are a third space. So if you haven't been to our place, we're in Old Sacramento. We literally don't have doors you need to come through. We are super accessible. We are open Wednesday through Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Just walk through our doors. We have, you can play our piano, play games, make art, ask questions, ask how you can become a better artist, ask how you can build your business. We are all, thanks, Laurel. We are here to support you. Please utilize us. So a lot of this is going to be about how you utilize. I am in Stockton right now because we are holding this is our Zero Waste Mobile Art Cafe. We go out into the community and we educate on sustainability and creativity. So right now we're at a school in Stockton. Well, I'm outside of that, but we're holding an event, so that's why we're here in Stockton right now. We love doing these events, and if you want to learn more, let us know. Our TV series, we're really excited. Back in 2022, we hired over 104 local creative artists. We did a TV series that's going to air on KVIE, a local PBS station. It's also going to go on all the PEG stations, and it's also going to go, CalRecycle is going to incorporate this into their education for schools on waste reduction. This TV series is really cool, and it's going to be out this year, and we're very excited, so we're going to have more updates on that. What's really, really important with the Atrium is that we have a resources page. So if you go to our website, under programs, there's resources. We constantly update this, like all the time. We work really hard. So if you go there, you will find opportunities, grants, calls to artists, job opportunities, all things. Please utilize this. please, please utilize this. We do put a lot of effort in trying to keep that up to date. One example is the Sacramento County Department of Airports. They've got a request for qualifications. That is really cool when they do request for qualifications, because that means that they're going to pay the artist for coming up with the design. Not, hey, send us your proposal. So then you're doing work and not getting paid. So that's really, really cool. So please look at that. You also will have on our resources page. Thank you, Laurel, for putting that link there. Again, there's a job opening, Phoebe Hurst Elementary School. They're looking for an art teacher. Please check that out. That also is on our resource page. There's another mural prize award for 10 to 40K. I think this is a really cool project. And again, before we put them on our resources page, we do verify, look, and make sure that our Sacramento creatives are eligible. So again, utilize our resources page. I'm going to go through this quickly because we've got a lot to cover today. A really cool project that is happening is there's a $5,000 prize. It's a small prize, but the project's kind of cool. As you know, we have the recycling symbol, which is that chasing arrows symbol. But I'm working on some state projects, and we're working on reuse and making reuse a new thing. So you might have a fourth bin, and that fourth bin is going to be for reuse, meaning something you can drop off in a bin that will get to a location. It will be cleaned, washed, and returned back into the marketplace. Very different from recycling, which ends up getting ground up and then made into something else, which is a lot more energy intensive. They're looking for someone to design this new symbol that will be recognized. So check that one out. Really, really cool. And I want to say congratulations on being a runner-up to Lorna M Designs. Today she pitched at the Circular Economy Business Competition, and she was a runner-up. And she makes these wonderful bags out of inner tube tires. And we're really excited for her success and growth. So congratulations, Lorna. And then we have on the 25th. So as you guys know, if a lot of you guys here are part of the Big Day of Giving, if you have nonprofits or you're part of a nonprofit or you know of a nonprofit, Big Day of Giving is opening its portal, I guess, tomorrow for early giving. So please give to your favorite nonprofits. You can think of us, but we would love to help. But like, there are many nonprofits. What we decided to do is Big Day of Giving is very digital, and it's kind of competitive. So we wanted to create something that is a lot more collaborative and in person. So we created this event called Collab. And it's happening on Friday, the 25th, and where we are inviting all nonprofits that are participating in Big Day of Giving to come and table for free. We're going to have like drinks and music and art is all going to be happening there, but it's like a market where you can get and meet and talk to the different nonprofits, see the projects that they're working on, get to meet the board members. It's going to be really cool. We have some really cool nonprofits participating, and we're hoping that we can create this as an ongoing thing so that way the nonprofits get to collaborate more, meet with each other, and hopefully we can work on grants together. So again, building that collaboration in that community. And it's Earth Month. So that's one thing. Also, we will be on the 22nd on Earth Day, we will be with our Zero Waste Mobile Art Cafe. We will be at the Arts and Culture Summit, which Julie is going to talk about in just a bit. After that, we will have artist vending. So if you want to reach out to us, if you want to vend, especially if it's sustainable. And this event, please bring your drink, bring a cup, where it's all about zero waste. After that, we will be opening up our vending at the atrium. So if you want to start vending or you have been vending, we will be able to vend after this. So it's kind of like our kickoff for vending at the atrium again, now that warmed up. And then this is my last slide, I think. And this is talking about advocacy. So a little bit in the city, what's going on. So right now it's like budget time, and the city of Sacramento is in a $44 million deficit. There are probably going to be layoffs within the city. So there's going to be some hard decisions that are going to have to be made within the city. And what we need to do in this place, so you can see we're here March, April, we need to make sure that we are really important, and we are the problem solvers for the city. And that's why I'm going to be talking about this proposed project once everybody does their updates, because I think we need to come to the city with creative ideas of how we do things, because otherwise the city is just going to hire consultants. The consultants are going to be from out of wherever. They're going to come and try and interview us and not pay us, and then translate what we're doing and then do a crappy job. No diss to consultants, they have their place, but I really think that our community can do it immediately. So yeah. So with that, I will stop sharing and I will offer this over to Julie Baker. And thank you for being here, Julie. I know you had a crazy day like me.
Hey, hey, hey. Hi, Shira, and hey, everybody. Nice to see a number of names and some faces. Hey, Justina, nice to see your face on screen. And I'm Julie Baker, and I'm the CEO of California for the Arts and California Arts Advocates. And just a big shout out to Shira and Atrium 916, and that incredible amount of energy from Shira is always contagious. So thank you for sharing that this evening as we're prepping to be in Sacramento next week. We're really excited. Our whole team comes up. We have a team of 9 people all over the state of California that will be showing up for the California Arts and Culture Summit. That is on Tuesday, April 22nd at the Sacramento Memorial Auditorium and the Convention Center because we've busted out of the Sophia over the last 2 years because so many people want to come to Sacramento, including people in Sacramento want to come to the summit. We're also doing a no-host get-together Monday night at Harlow's from 6 to 8. Jim Cornett, the owner, has been generous to give us a space. So it's just we're hanging out. About 150 people showed up last year. It was really lovely. There's food you can buy at the bar and get a drink, and we hang out outside. And then come to the summit, and yeah, Sheer and their cool art cart will be there outside. The former, most recent chair of the NEA is our keynote, which will be in conversation with me, Dr. Maria Rosario Jackson, one of the leading, sort of researcher, public policy person, arts leader, and who happens to also be from California, from Southern California. So really excited to host her. We've got an amazing array of workshops and incredible panels and a lot of time for networking. So if you haven't bought your tickets yet, we close Friday at noon. We're almost at our, sort of catering capacity, so we're almost there. And I really want to give a huge shout out to the city of Sacramento. I see Jason and Melissa here, and I think Donald too. And of course, Megan Van Voorhis is on our board, and the city has been an incredible partner for us on this event. It takes a lot to do this summit. So just really want to massive gratitude to the city of Sacramento for their support. And Jason, I know my team is just gives you shout outs all day long. So thanks for everything that you do. Then on Wednesday, we gather in Capitol Park for Arts Advocacy Day. We've got a record number of advocates signed up this year. I think we're getting close to 350, which is fantastic. If you haven't signed up, you can still show up in the park. We'll start about 8:30. We'll have some music, performance, a number of speakers, including elected officials. Someone likely a council member or the mayor will be there as well. We usually do the proclamation for Arts, Culture, and Creativity Month. And then we'll be talking about some of the issues that we'll be highlighting during Advocacy Day. So I'm also going to put in the chat where you can download on our website our legislative priorities for the year. And I'll give you an idea of kind of what we're working on right now. So similar to city, the state of California is likely going to be in a pretty significant deficit. And so the May revise is when we see the next round of the budget. The first budget came out in January. This was before Trump came into office and all the federal sort of uncertainty and tariffs and all of the things that are happening, including museum and library services and the National Endowment for Humanities basically being gutted. So there's a lot of trickle down effect, Medicaid to the state budget. So we'll see what the May revise holds in that case. As you may recall, last year in the May revise, the governor tried to take 10 million out of the California Arts Council's budget and eliminate the Performing Arts Equitable Payroll Fund, which was to support nonprofit performing arts organizations under $2 million with payroll support. We were able, with just really quick mobilization of grassroots advocates, some of you showed up in those hearings, and doing a press conference and all the things that we did, we were able to secure back 75% of that funding, fully funded the Performing Arts Equitable Payroll Fund, and restored 5 million to the California Arts Council. So that was good news. What we didn't know was also happening was that the Museum Grant Fund got gutted. Arts in the Parks got 11 million taken out. So all told, including cultural districts funding that was reduced from a 30 million proposed to just 10 million over the last several years, even though we had unprecedented historic one-time investments in things like the Creative Core that the city did with the Capital Creative Core, we've seen $70.5 million taken out of arts and culture across multiple state agencies over the last several years. So, we need to show up and talk about those issues and let our elected officials know that this is impacting our capacity to do our work and provide the services that we do for our communities, in addition to what is also coming from the federal government. What we do have in the budget are two legislators who are trying to get back some of the funding that was taken out. So we've got Assemblymember Chris Ward, who is the chair of the Arts Assembly Committee from San Diego, has asked a budget request of $5 million restored to the California Arts Council. And then Senator Smallwood Cuevas from Los Angeles County has also asked for that 5 million restored, plus $5 million for cultural district expansion. So we've got some budget asks in, which is good, and we're really grateful to those electeds for championing those for us. We're also in support of the film TV tax credit, which will be hopefully bringing more jobs back to Los Angeles. But we're also working with a coalition called Outside the Zone, which is asking for some more incentives to be able to film outside of Los Angeles County. And Sam Bempong, that is one of the leaders of that group from Make It Bay, will be speaking at Advocacy Day. So you'll learn more about that. One of the bills I just want to highlight, and you can see most of what we're doing again on that link. There's other bills that were not even listed there that we're also taking positions on, things around nightlife economy, expanding the capacity to serve alcohol until 4 o'clock in the morning has been introduced by Matt Haney, that you won't see on that list, and we took a support position for that. What's good for the creative economy is what we are in support of always. And so the final thing I wanted to mention is SB 456, which is the Community Beautification Act. And this is addressing the issue that we've seen most recently, where the Contractor State Licensing Board has been noticing cities around a business and professions code that requires muralists to be licensed painting contractors. This actually was established in 1971, has been unmonitored, regulated, held accountable for. So pretty much all the decades of murals that have happened since then have essentially been out of compliance with state law. But we now are seeing that some people are making an issue out of it. So these were issued to city managers, city attorneys. City attorneys got these notices. They then went to their public arts administrators and said, "Are your muralists licensed painting contractors?" And of course, most of them are not, because it's different. It's completely different. It's fine art versus being a painting contractor. We were on Insight today. Donald Gensler, I think Donald's here, and I, and Jaya King, talking about the issue. That bill is being introduced by is authored by Senator Angelique Ashby of Sacramento. We're really grateful for her support, and it has gone already through one committee, her committee, and it's gone now passing through appropriations. We got what they call 28 aided out of that. And so now we're going straight to the Senate floor. If that's of interest to you, please, keep up with our action alerts. We'll let you know when we'll need folks to step up and speak up about that particular bill. A lot of other things that we're covering. And again, it's there. We hope you'll see you at Advocacy Day, if not at the summit. So thanks for the time, and have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you, Julie. Thank you so much. I know it's a lot. Thank you so much. I'm going to quickly bounce it over to Donald. Thank you, Julie. So much appreciate you. You want to unmute yourself? There we go.
Thanks a bunch. I think, Jason, if you don't mind, I'll just go ahead and jump into it real quick. Um, I just put in the chat just a few things I'm going to discuss just quickly about art in public places. First of all, I'm the art and public places manager for the city of Sacramento, and appreciate you bringing me on, Shira, to just go over a couple of opportunities. I unfortunately won't be able to stay for the discussion regarding K Street and Old Sacramento, but I think it's such a valuable one, and I'm thrilled that this is happening tonight. First and foremost, I want everybody to know about our collection that has been recently we have a GIS portal online, so you have the link there, and we are also on Public Art Archive. But I really encourage everybody to go on to the GIS portal when you have time, search some of the artwork, and take the survey. We want to know what you like, what you didn't like. Hopefully, this is the beginning of starting to better map out and search the public art in Sacramento. It's a work in progress, and so this is kind of a soft launch. So if you could just kind of copy this whole section here, and then in your own time, take a look at that. One thing or three things that are important that I will be now announcing, but I wanted to give everybody here a heads up. In June, July, and August, we'll each have separate RFQs that are announced, request for qualifications. Those will always be found on this submittable link. So if you're not familiar with this link, copy that, put that in your bookmark page. You can check it. I think there's recently something up about panelists. I think Melissa may be discussing today. And we have three projects that'll come up. One, a new project on Northgate Boulevard, or off of Northgate Boulevard, that is going to be a creative crosswalks, a whole series of creative crosswalks in District 3. And we've been working with the council office, Council Member Talamante's office on that. And we did write a Bloomberg asphalt grant for that as well. So our fingers are crossed. We'll be finding out if we've got that additional funding. We will definitely be working with Garden Valley Elementary. And at the minimum, it'll be an opportunity for one design artist and one teaching artist. And hopefully we'll have an opportunity for two design artists and two teaching artists. So, and potentially one project manager. So stay tuned for the Northgate Boulevard opportunity. We also will have another opportunity coming out, like I said, June, July, or August, for North Natomas Regional Park. This is an exciting project, and quite large, actually. So it'll be in two phases. The first phase will last for a year with 5 artist ambassadors that will each link with a stakeholder group or careholder group. Some of those groups are the Sacramento Audubon Society, Wilton Rancheria, the Natomas Basin Conservancy, just to name a couple, and Jibe. And then after about a year of conversations and meetings and workshops, 10 artists will be designing 10 benches. So those are artist design benches. These will probably be about $25,000 commissions each. And the idea is that we'll take care of a bunch of the engineering and pour a lot of the foundations. And we really are interested in artists who don't have as much public art experience, but are really interested in doing this type of work. So we've done this specifically for those artists. We expect we'll get some artists with more experience as well, which is great. But we are really focused also on giving artists an opportunity to build their portfolio with a piece of permanent work that will get installed in the park. We think it's going to be a wonderful project. It'll take overall about 2.5 years till that's fully complete. And then lastly, a really new project that we'll also be announcing this summer will be a $150,000 commission at the Martin Luther King Library. It is a historic library, in fact, the first library named after Martin Luther King in the United States. And we have an exciting opportunity to do a public artwork. It'll be on the wall area of the entrance area, which is kind of off to the back, actually, of the library. The library is getting some renovations. We probably won't get the public art up in time for renovations because we will do significant amount of community engagement. But look forward to that. We'll have some finalists and they'll interview, and then we'll bring one artist in and give them some good time to work with the community, develop their ideas. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me personally. I put my email in the chat, and you're more than welcome to email me or also check our website. And of course, always sign up for our Office of Arts and Culture newsletter at arts.cityofsacramento.gov. Thanks a lot, Shira.
All right, fantastic. All right, I'm throwing it over to you, Melissa. And then Jason, you'll be wrapping it up for us before we get into our brainstorming.
Okay, excuse me. Okay, thank you, Shira. Nice to see everybody. It's a great turnout here. I am really happy to be here tonight because people have been asking me for months and months and months, when are the grants going out to individual artists? You've done grants to nonprofits and creative businesses, and we know we've been promising grants going out to individual artists, and I'm happy to say that we're almost ready to roll. We are putting out a grant which is called the Creative Growth Fellowship for individual artists. It's going to be more than $2 million going directly to artists in our community. We are going to be offering up to 200 of these fellowships. They're going to be for a 1-year period. So the grant will be it'll be a 1-year grant where you'll get $850 per month that'll go straight to your bank account or receive it by check, however you want, a debit card. And it goes up to 1 year. So that's, I believe it's $10,200 going directly to artists. There will be an application process. So you're going to have to fill out an application. It's a really simple application. You answer some questions. You have to be located in the city of Sacramento. So that is one criterion. You have to be over the age of 18 to receive it, live in the city, provide documentation that you are who you are and you live in the city. And other than that, it's broken to artists from most disciplines. I would say it's going to be really inclusive of artists and culture bearers and other types of creatives who work in performing arts, literary arts, visual arts, and a host of other things. We're going to have a nice long list of all of the disciplines that can apply. So it's really, it's a grant that's going to encompass a lot of people here in Sacramento, which makes me very happy. It will go through a panel process. So there will be, panels. And I think Jason's going to talk a little bit more about our need for panelists for this application, because we expect to get a huge number of applications here in Sacramento, but it'll go through a panel process. You fill out an application. I do want to say that our guidelines are going to be available May 1st. So I'm going to put in the chat where the guidelines can be found. They're going to be on our website. So I would suggest to everybody, as soon as the guidelines come out, if you're interested, please check them out, read them through really carefully. They go into very specific details about what we're going to need from you. And we're encouraging everybody to take a look at this early, because the application itself will open June 2nd. It's going to close June 20th. So it's really going to be open a very short period of time. We have to narrow the window that the application is open, but giving you lots of lead time, providing you with lots of support if you have questions, if you're not really sure what we're looking for, if you need some help understanding what the guidelines mean. I really do think we've made it as straightforward and as simplified as possible for a city organization to put out a grant. I think it's relatively straightforward. And so I'm really just encouraging everybody to look out for it. Tell your friends. I recognize a lot of people who are here today. So if you can all tell your friends to tell their friends, so that more people know about this opportunity. We are going to have community groups out there working to get the word out to many different communities. I think a healthy environment is when we have lots of individuals applying for grants, and hopefully make a really good case of more need for funding for individual artists. And I also want to say this money is to be used for what you need to use it for. So there is no specific outcome that we're looking for you to produce at the end of this project. It's really to do your work, pay your bills, and get a little relief in being an artist. So,
Melissa, I have some questions. I have a
yeah.
question. Sorry to kind of cut you off. And if anybody here has a question, if you can raise your hand, use the raise hand function.
Yeah, if I could,
That would be good.
we'll be doing lots of workshops and things, but if there are any individual questions that y'all
I
have.
have one quick question is like, how many artists are you going to receive, like accept, award?
We're not limiting the number. I mean, we had conversations about that. Should we limit it? Should we cut it off after a certain number? But that just didn't seem to be right. We want to make sure that people who didn't get a chance to hear about it until the last minute aren't the ones that are suffering, because there are always the folks who are ready to jump in immediately on everything we do, but we also want to make sure we have enough time for people to know about it. So I can't even tell you the number of applications we expect to get.
Oh,
I
cool.
I have no guess.
Okay. No, oh, I meant awarded. Thank you,
Oh,
Justina.
awarded.
Awarded. I was like
200,
endless
200.
200. Sorry, I missed that. Thank you.
Okay.
I appreciate that. That is so exciting. I'm really happy, Melissa. Thank you so much. I know I've been one of those people that has been bugging, so I'm so glad.
I am glad too. It's nice to have an answer. And Janine asked where the money is coming from. These are city funds, yes.
Perfect. And there was another question. Katie, if you have a question, please raise your hand. Katie, you had a question. You can unmute yourself.
Thank you, Sherry. Good to see you,
Hey,
Melissa.
Katie. How you doing?
So this is just a basic income guarantee, like we had talked about kind of a while back. You did a presentation on. I'm curious, is there going to be a narrative in the application?
There is going to be a narrative, and it really isn't the same. It isn't exactly the same as the guaranteed income program that we had originally talked about. It has been reframed a little bit. That's why there is an application with a narrative, but not a long narrative. It's just basically asking you about your practice, just so that we can determine that folks who are applying are artists. This is their practice. This is what they're investing their life in, because
Yeah.
we just want to make sure that we narrow it to that degree.
And then it sounded like you were going to pick maybe is there a certain number from each different modality? Is that what you were saying? Or that there's just an option to identify what your medium is in the
Yes,
application?
there's definitely an option to identify your medium. We have not, again, until we see the numbers of applicants and get a sense of, how to narrow it down so that we do represent a number of different fields.
Right.
That might work out through the panel process. We may have to have some different panels for different types of disciplines so that we can represent multiple disciplines and not just one. But again, it's not based on your income, so you will not have to put any income information into this application.
Two more
Perfect.
questions. Thank you so
Oh, wait,
much.
thank you. Hold on, Katie. I'm going to let
Yep,
other people ask some
sure.
questions, okay?
Okay.
And we're going to keep it quick because we have a lot to get
Yeah,
to.
I know you have a lot, and we'll do more information sessions. So
Perfect.
again, keep going to our website.
Perfect. Richard.
Hi there, good to see you all. I'm assuming people who are eligible for this must be US citizens,
No,
okay?
no.
But they must have an EIN number.
There are ways you can,
Good.
if you are not a US citizen, you can apply, and
Okay.
this works just as well for non-US citizens. We have to just show residency
Of course.
and have some kind of, bank account and things like
Okay,
that. Yeah.
thank you very much.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, Alyssa.
I was just curious. On a selfish view, I have to work a full-time job to make my ends meet because I don't make enough as an artist. Would I still be able to apply for something like that since I'm not totally making my entire living as an artist yet?
That's why we have this grant, Alyssa, because so few artists are totally making their living by doing this work. So again, I encourage you to apply if you feel like it's the right opportunity for you.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yay. Okay.
Yeah.
Melissa, you're awesome. Thank you. I'm so
Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
Look
I'm going
forward to hearing from you.
You're awesome. Thank you. I'm putting it over to Jason.
Awesome. Hello, everyone. As you can tell, I am very fortunate to be able to work with folks like Donald and Melissa. I am the Cultural and Creative Economy Manager with the Office of Arts and Culture. Also want to give a shout out to Richard, who was the steward of our Capital Region Creative Corps program for a time. I'm going to share a few things. Something first, maybe rather mundane, but I understand it's been maybe 8 years in the making. So just to share this with the group, we recently had a staff retreat. And one of the things we decided that we needed to tackle, and also really acknowledging Richard and his efforts while on staff to help bring us to this point, we have crafted a vision statement and a list of values. And I invite you all to take a peek. It's fresh off the press. I'm going to plop it here, and we'd love to hear what folks think about this. These are our guiding values that we hope to bring to bear to the work that we conduct in service to all of you. So, as you may know, the Office of Arts and Culture, we're dedicated to supporting and promoting, advancing the arts throughout Sacramento. We're grateful to work with civic partners and other community partners like Atrium 916. Working towards a vibrant and just creative economy in Sacramento. And we're not alone in that work. We also partner with the Sacramento Arts, Culture, and Creative Economy Commission. I also want to give a shout out to a few commissioners here with us today. Jeff Eisenberg, one of our newest commissioners, in Karuka Abu is here. And of course, Justina Martino, another new commissioner, not new to all of this work. And it really takes a village. It takes a partnership with commissioners and with community and folks in community that care about this work. So this is an 11-member body. And one of the things I wanted to share is that we have 10 folks, and that means we have one spot vacant. This is the mayor appointee. There are two. Dr. Stephen Winlock is the sole current mayor appointee, but we do have a vacancy. If this is something that interests you, yes, all commissioners speak to the broader community, and there are district council member appointed commissioners like Jeff and Garuka and Justina. The mayor does get to appoint two. So I invite you to look at this information, and yeah, if you want to be an arts commissioner, if you have questions about what it entails, the time commitment, the expectations, we have meetings. The commission has meetings once a month, with the exception of I think it's July later this year, where council is on recess. But I invite you to look at this opportunity. And feel free to shoot me a message if you have questions about it, or come to one of our meetings, or you can also look up recordings of past commission meetings so you can get a sense for the work that the commission does. Couple of other updates. I wanted to share some programmatic updates. The Everyday Creative Program, we're really proud of this partnership with Culture. It's a 12-week accelerator program in the second leg of a 8-month program to develop creative entrepreneurs. And so our current group of creative entrepreneurs, they're benefiting from workshops and professional development trainings. Alexa Hall is a recent guest mentor. And this is to really support creative entrepreneurs in a way that they might not have been supported before, really one-on-one support, digging into the nuts and bolts of what it takes to thrive as a creative business.
I think that's a great program. We also have an incubator program, but I think that program is also good for what we're going to be pitching in a little bit. So please hang tight for that part.
Yeah, awesome. And all of these programs, I mean, I think it works an ecosystem, right? These programs and opportunities work in tandem with each other throughout the city. Um, if you didn't have a chance to come to our Monday session after commission, we were acknowledging our most recent Sacramento Poet Laureate, Andrew Defy. And he served from 2020 to 2024. I'll use the chat to plop in a recent article that shares a little bit about the work that he did, really to uplift literary arts education. He worked with folks in senior care facilities. He worked with teachers, and he really kind of went above and beyond his work. He just released a new book of poetry, collection of works that he created during the pandemic. So I wanted to encourage you to check out his work and also to keep your eyes open for the next Poet Laureate opportunity. We expect to be able to share more information about that in the summer. And then just to uplift the Arts and Culture Summit, we are, as Julie mentioned, very excited to be a part of it. Last year, there was just such a need that came out of community that wanted an opportunity to attend. These conferences take funding to plan and execute. And so we were able to almost double the number of scholarships for Sacramento-based artists and art workers to attend the summit this year. And as Julian mentioned, our office and the department were involved in some of the behind the scenes work. If you are planning to come to Advocacy Day, Arts Advocacy Day at the state capitol, it's going to be on the west side park grounds. You won't be able to miss it because you're going to be hearing from musicians, and there will be a percussion procession with local Sacramento musicians leading the attendees from the park location to their legislative visits. So we are really excited to be a part of that. Grateful that it happens. It's going to happen every year in Sacramento. Don't know if we're always going to be able to pull off this level of support, but we hope that you all find a way to be involved in some of the activities if you're not already planning to attend the summit outright.
Awesome.
And I think that's about it. I'm going to
Perfect.
plop in. It's about time, yeah.
Yeah.
And my contact information and the link to sign up for our newsletter. It's the best way to stay up to date with programs and opportunities through our division. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you, Jason, so much for all those updates. So yes, if you want to be a commissioner, if you're worried about some conflict of interest, I saw some communication there, reach out to Jason to ask about that. We need a good commissioner on there that cares and understands and has ideas and things. And I'm going to move it into an idea. We have only 15 minutes left. And so here's the idea. Right now, the city is in a deficit and they need to think about how they create revenue. And they also have a big problem with K Street. K Street is a problem between K Street on 8th Street all the way up to the convention center. And I have an idea. This is an idea that I'm putting out to the community. This is totally pencil. There's no pen or ink to it. The idea, I'm asking if this is something I should put more work into, if others want to join in on this work or have ideas. This is totally a community idea, but here's the little spark of what I was thinking, and I want to get your feedback if you think this is good, bad, shitty idea, whatever you think. But I was thinking, how cool would it be if we utilized our creative economy, creative community to revitalize K Street? K Street is like the center of the city, and we need to revitalize our downtown, making it more safe and creative. I talk a lot about, we have spike tourism and we have consistent tourism. Spike tourism is like the big events that, Visit Sacramento brings, the big shows, the big things. That's great, but that also takes up a lot of resources. What would be cool if we made Sacramento cool just all the time? Whenever you came to Sacramento, you have a good time. Now, we as creatives know that, but as visitors. So I was thinking about a project on K Street. Like, what if we paid, because there's a lot of empty storefronts there, and there are a lot of landlords that we need to figure out how we work with these landlords. But before we figure that part out, I want to get the feedback from the community. What if we paid creatives for a 2-year period to activate these storefronts? So the idea is you are paid to activate these storefronts. But Jason, this is what I was talking about. But during those 2 years, we work with them in as like to do a business development so that way they sustain and they're able to stay there. So it's not like, oh, make the space cool and then you get kicked out. No, the idea is that you are there, you get paid for a 2-year program to activate, make it, test out, see what business could work, because sometimes retail business, and we know because we have a retail business, it takes time to figure out the flow of people, the flow of time, how things work. But I feel like there is going to be a symbiotic thing where we can work with the city, that there are some sticks and carrots, right? A carrot would be, hey, we want to work on this program with creatives. And I want to know what creatives would be interested in this opportunity. And then and work with the city on the sticks of, like, if there's a landlord that doesn't want to do this, how do we incentivize? There's a couple of I forget what they're called, Jason. Kind of like, it's called blight, and they kind of get a fine for this. So like kind of working with the city on that. City doesn't have money for this. What it is that we are going to package together an idea, a program, and put it together and present it, and maybe with the city apply for larger grants, if that is a state grant or anything like that. The reason I'm doing it this way is because normally for economic development, the city will go, okay, we're going to put out an RFP, a request for proposal, from consultants. They hire consultants from outside, so that means thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars sometimes, that is paid to a consultancy firm that normally doesn't live in Sacramento. Then they come and interview us creatives, and we don't get paid for it, and they just translate what we say to them. So why don't we put it together as a community, because I really strongly believe community-driven ideas are what succeed. We just need to find the resource and put it together, and that's what the atrium is. We try to figure out how we bundle it and make it work together with the community. So I just want to hear from you guys. Feel free to unmute or raise your hand to let me know what you think of this. Yeah. Anybody wants to say anything? An idea?
I think it sounds really exciting and interesting.
Oh, cool. Well, thank you. Does anybody have any concerns or would want to participate, or, or have ideas? Anything? Richard, I'm looking at you. Katie,
Yeah, I got something that's coming up for me, and then I'll pass it to Justina because I know I just saw you and mute as well. But are you familiar with Calling All Dreamers?
Yeah. I'll be working with downtown. I'll be working with downtown partnership. We're already in conversations.
It's giving Calling All Dreamers creative edition K Street only. Like, that's what it reminds me of. I think that would be really cool because then it's like the SCORE mentorship, and it's the same concept, but it's a micro experience of that just on K Street and just for creatives. So that'd be really cool.
So I'm going to go by stack and raised hands. Oh, Justina, you raised your hand, I think, or unmuted. And then next Bernie, and then Alyssa.
Yeah, I think I don't know what all of like the guidelines are for actually getting into a vacant spaces, but I have heard that it's easier, and I think that downtown Sacramento partnership was doing, and there have been some things done in the past where artists are hired to do like window activations. So it's things that can be appreciated from outside, but you don't actually walk into the building. So that might be easier to do. And of course, I always think artists should get paid if they're doing something like that. I also kind of, one of my concerns is, which this has been like an age-old story of artists getting affordable or free access to a space just to revitalize the neighborhood. And then the gentrification starts to happen and the artists and other long-term residents get displaced. So if a project like this happens, I would love there to be some kind of community process alongside this to make sure that people aren't getting displaced.
I totally agree. And I think that's why I wanted to do it like a 2-year. You get paid to do this. And with that payment, you pay your rent and everything else. And then with those 2 years, you have an accelerator sort of thing. You have like a mentor that works with you to help you develop and build your business so you stay. and developing retail is hard because you have to understand the flow of people. You have to understand how things go. So, and I think like kind of collaborating with culture, like it's going to be a total community effort, but my goal is that they stay and that we make K Street like, okay, it's cool, it's artsy. Like we know that K Street is artsy and cool. So yes, I'm 100% with you, and I would love to collaborate with you and make sure that that happens. So, I'm gonna go Bernie.
Hi, this is my first meeting, so thank you. This is an incredible amount of resources. I love this idea. I'm so curious to learn more. Right now, I am doing artistic community programming at Empire Arts Collective, and we have a program, Collective Brilliance Experience, which is like getting people with their toes in the water of like admitting they're creatives or getting back into whatever it is. And I could see it being like a great feeder into this, where then it's like, okay, now that you've kind of we're the little sprout, and then now you guys have the tangible like economic and business resources. So I would be deeply interested in getting on a list or participating in roundtables like that as a feeder.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you so much. And it's a community, right? Like to build a healthy forest, we need different trees. Like to milk, we need to diversify. So this is amazing, and thank you. Thank you. I would love that. Alyssa, you're next up.
The only thing I could think of that might be like a speed bump of any kind would be just how would they figure out parking for the people that are there? Because I know parking gets kind of limited in there now that they've done with the new what is it? The building Coliseum, or not Coliseum, where they do games. I'm not thinking the right word.
Daco, like the Daco Arena?
Yeah, the arena. That's it.
Mhm.
Killed parking, and then just general crime rate. I think those are the only things that might be really things to think about to actively plan for.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant, and that's the whole reason we think of activating it, because it will make it safer. And right now, the city is paying an arm and a leg to kind of keep things safe. But if it's activated, it really deters. So I think that's great. Before I get to you, Richard, I just see a few things in the chat I'm going to go over really quick. Would the application for a BizFront require biz proposal? We don't know yet. We're still penciling this. So join us on a meeting and tell us what you think would be best. My goal is always to make it as accessible as possible, as easy as possible, and let's help people along the way. This is a great idea. How can K Street be safer though? I was attacked last year. Oh my God. Creative Minds. I've heard many people say they would never go to K Street. Yeah. I mean, it's going to be working with Downtown Partnership with their clean and safe. So there's going to be a lot of collaboration with Downtown Partnership, and I'm already talking with them, and we're talking about a lot of stuff. So absolutely. And I'm so sorry that happened to you, Janine. That's like horrific. So I'm sorry. I love you. And Michelle, does it have to be limited to retail? Another wall wouldn't hurt. I would love to do that. That is a different issue, kind of creating living housing. I have another idea we don't have time to get into, and that's like with Old Sacramento, that I want to create kind of like where we are, to redevelop that building into an art marketplace, and then on top having micro residential units up top, and then the third flat floor where you'll have the amazing view of the city. And that way you'll be able to have like these really cute events. That's another meeting, another brainstorm. Yeah. And then Bernie and Katie, thank you so much. Yes, absolutely. Richard.
Short answer is count me and we'll talk about it. However, I want to make sure that we think about expanding this type of initiative to other districts. I live in District 8. District 8 has been designated an arts desert. Lots of vacant properties and vacant buildings there too. So again, we start with this one and then expand, make sure we're encompassing all the districts in all the city of Sacramento. But count me in, let's have that discussion.
I love it, Richard. You're always so amazing. Thank you. I think, yes, I agree. Like, I think kind of doing this as like a flagship, does this work? Is this successful? Now let's expand this. And I think this would also be good statewide to show it like, look, creatives actually solve the problem, because we're not the only downtown that has this problem. There are a lot more that have this problem. So we could be a catalyst. And then I get a lot of things like, well, how's this been done before? I'm like, no, not that I know of. So we're going to be the first. Haha. Um,
There's many land use initiatives. So taking a look at some of those places and figuring out who do we contact to, and I think like Rashawn Davis, for example, would be great because if his real estate background and stuff like that, I know you have a background with that too. So, we help to get beyond those little things in there and do this. So yeah, count me in. Sounds great.
I love it. So yeah, that is kind of the goal, is that we come together and figure it out. I agree. D2 Boulevard is, yes, agree. Does anybody else have anything? I can't believe it's 7:27. Like, we got 3 more minutes. Normally I'm always overtime. Jason, do you have anything you want to add to this idea of like, this is stupid, or no, this is good, or like what you think we should be doing? Kind of like, I'm going to create more meetings like this. But what do you think the best course of action would be, in your opinion, for us as a community to do this? And again, doing it collaboratively and openly like this.
Yeah, I mean, two things come to mind. I don't think they're necessarily exclusive, but start where we are and spread it out, you know. To Richard's point, addressing where the pain is felt the most, that always seems a good start. But then once you start convening in community, the effort is likely to learn who's not at the table. That's always the most important question to ask, I think, in starting anything out, is who's not here with us? Who can we wrap in? What cultural communities, what linguistic communities, artists with disabilities, families, etc. So who's not at the table is always a good place to start, I think, but also not to let that be a barrier to let's get something going. That's my 2 cents.
Absolutely. And I think that's where we all go in. And I agree, Justina, like on kind of like finding others. There is going to be a lot of work on this. And that's why I'm bringing in the community, going like, hey, if this is something to pursue, there's going to be a lot of work and research and things like that. If this is something, I don't want to be alone doing this or anything like this. I want this to be a community project that we work together to make it happen. Yeah, Justina.
I actually wanted to mention that this is like one of my main goals in joining the Arts Commission, is more safe and affordable spaces for artists. So actually last year on the work plan, we added this to the work plan for this year to start building more infrastructure and doing the research to get these spaces. So it is on the Arts Commission work plan. So I know that you do a great job of showing up to the meetings. So I think it makes sense to get the commission involved and the Office of Arts and Culture involved. I know that Megan is really interested in this type of work as well. So there's definitely people who are up to doing this type of stuff.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So I will try and set up a meeting that will be specifically about this, and I'll invite as many as possible. And please, for everybody here, to invite as many as possible to the meeting. Again, sharing it out to who you think and who's not at the table, and making sure we're bringing everybody in. It is 7:30. I want to respect everybody's time. I appreciate you being here. Does anybody have any last things to say before we close it out? No?
Thank you. Thank you for holding the space, Shira. I so appreciate these meetings. I learned so much and get to connect with everybody. It's really helpful.
I love you guys.
Thank you for all you do.
Well, I love you guys. I think I love Sacramento. I love our artists. I think we're amazing. We have an amazing city and amazing creatives, and I just want to keep us going. So with that, good night, lovelies. Have a good night. Bye.